All right. So, hi again. And if I'm a bit annoyed, it's just because I've lost a lot of work because of bad audio. It's quite hard doing this. So, I don't want to spend too much time on this, influencer stuff. I just want to build this app. So, have patience with low quality of video, audio, and stuff like that. Here you have the bullets of today. I can offer full screen for you. So I'm going to talk about origin and goal, frequently asked questions, some hands-on code, step debugging, and some next step. Okay, let's go. I think I split this into 3 videos because if I go wrong, I don't want to see there at the end of the day that I messed up once again. So about this project and about the origin. You probably know it started out me a year ago, just reaching out to anyone out there. Does anyone more than me like Caustic? Think that it's a bummer that it's disappearing, fading into the time machine of internet, or what you say, the lost ark. And there were people joining so slowly, and suddenly we were over 50, and continuously more and more. And so many people feel the same, that this is a really great app, and there is not many apps that are so fun, and so you can just have it in your pocket, and it's stable and it's playable, and you can use it as a recorder or just for fun fiddling with. So yeah, I don't want to have it. I want to have something like that in the world. So what it ended up with was that I tried to buy stuff from Ray, the developer. He wasn't interested in selling. Okay. So then I tried to look at, can I do something, just have a idea on how to do this. So I started out doing something in PHP called Echo, where you can render stuff, no real time because it's not fast enough. And that worked okay. Then I had to learn C++, and here we are. So, obviously I know there are, many of you are far more better C++ coder than me. And I'm fine with that. I mean, you can optimize the code and you can make, SIMD optimizations and everything like that. But I take the responsibility of the nailing the foundation for the timing and the architecture of the project, which I will show you later on the code section here. One thing that is really important for me regarding the goal is to being able to grab a guitar or a harmonica or something like that, record, and not having too much latency in doing that. And that is one thing that I really want to add from the original Caustic, says that the better audio in, that you can have that in real time, and adding an effect so you can do like a vocoder and stuff like that, having audio into the vocoder and either record it or just for fun in real time playback. So yeah, that's an issue with Android, which I should mention already, that I have 2 Android devices, and their buffer performance, because I tried this Oboe. There's an app you can download if you have an Android phone, Oboe Tester I think it's called, where you can see the buffers and tap latency. And for me, my devices was just crap. So that's really hard to make something useful on those premises. So maybe it's easier if you have a separate sound card connected to your device. But if you have a really nice Android phone, download that app, check your performance with the Oboe tester, and just post your measures. Or if there is maybe there's a chart somewhere showing which device you should buy and which you should not buy. So back to the project goal, because I really want this to be performant, and having that when you play an instrument, it's really a relation, you don't want to have like a technical awkwardness in between. Of course the latency is really important, but also For example, I spent quite a lot of time with swing. It drove me nuts a bit. So it's really quite simple. I think of it as like a wheel that is a bit off center in its gravity. So it's like badum, badum. So if you have that model of swing, you can make math of it, and you can make something that is digital swing. So if you don't do that, it's just a bit boring. And at the same time, with the oscillators in the synths, I just play with it. Since I now can do step debugging, I can see that something in the oscillators isn't right. They are not. They are. When I change tone, I do not pay respect to how an oscillator works. I can't just change frequency; it becomes awkward. So it should be organic. It should be feel real. I'm not really so much into electronics. I mean, you can go the other way. Just let's make something that sounds crazy. But I want something that sounds great and is in a way invisible. It's just there to help you with your creative ideas. And I want it to be open source. So on the FAQ next, that's due coming up, I want this to be open source, and I want people to be able to, because it's so big, I want people to be able to collaborate in adding synths or effects or these MIDI event processors. So so big thanks to the guys and girls who wrote Port Audio and RT-MIDI, two open source libraries I use, and also the web server I use. It's called what is it called? The web server I use. It's called what is it called? It is called Crow. It's called Crow. So thanks to you guys and girls. So that's the goal, I guess, and having fun. For the moment, I see no real reason to make money out of this, because it's they're so easy to take the wrong path. I do have started a buy me a coffee thing, so you can always donate to me. Just if you want to sponsor this project, I will be very grateful. And if you haven't, click subscribe. Click the like button, because Google pay respect to that, and we can get a bigger audience. All right, so next step, FAQ. Or should I stop here? All right, here. Maybe I should. All right, so it's time for frequently asked questions. One of them is web. Is this web-based? No. And a little yes. Everything that's related to timing, DSP, MIDI, effects, all that is done in C++. Nothing is done in JavaScript or something like that. The only thing that is done in HTML or JavaScript is the front-end rendering, where you see buttons and dials that you can press and stuff like that. And the communication to the backend is through RPC or WebSockets. So when you press a key on the screen, faking a keyboard, you are sending a WebSocket request to the audio engine on the same device, mostly, and it responds. And you can hear the sound, probably, and you can see that you pressed the note. And this goes so quickly. I mean, phones are so fast; it's not an issue. Of course, it would be better if that was like C++2, for example, in Qt or something like that. But I really thought, it was when I did quite a lot of electronics back in the days, and when Arduino launched and made this low-level entrance where people could do stuff, things really happened. A lot of fun things evolved from that. And I think it's the same here. I mean, if I use the web technology, maybe people can come up with fun editors in a fun way. And the communication between the back and forth end is endpoints. But it's all run on the device, so there's no cloud service. There's nothing in the cloud here. There's no subscription service, nothing like that. Yeah. And so, all right, so it's time for frequently asked questions. One of them is is this web-based? No, and a little yes. Everything that's like related to timing, DSP, MIDI, effects, all that is done in C++. Nothing is done in JavaScript or something like that. The only thing that is done in HTML or JavaScript is the front-end rendering, where you see like buttons and dials that you can press and stuff like that. And the communication to the backend is through RPC or WebSockets. So when you press a key on the screen, faking a keyboard, you are sending a WebSocket request to the audio engine on the same device, mostly, and it responds. And you can hear the sound probably, and you can see that you pressed the note. And this goes so quickly. I mean, phones are so fast; it's not an issue. Of course, it would be better if that was like C++2, for example, in Qt or something like that. But I really thought, it was when I did quite a lot of electronics back in the days, and when Arduino launched and made this low-level entrance where people could do stuff. Things really happened. A lot of fun things evolved from that. And I think it's the same here. I mean, if I use the web technology, maybe people can come up with fun editors in a fun way. And the communication between the back and forth end is endpoints. But it's all run on the device, so there's no cloud service. There's nothing in the cloud here. There's no subscription service, nothing like that. Yeah. And so now and then I get feature requests. Can you do this? Can we have that? And I don't want to turn down any ideas. I mean, ideas are always good, but they come with quite a lot of work if you want to implement them. And for the moment, my main ambition is to, really come up with some to prove my ideas around the architecture, to test it, and then come up with the documentation so you all can contribute in the way you want. So I don't pay too much attention to any requests that's outside of that scope. But I have, I'm not doing an application that are for beginner musicians. I pay respect to, different time signatures, different, frequencies in tuning and also temperaments and stuff like that. So it should be an open mind. And I was just listening to jazz the other day, people making the most of their instruments, and I think that's fantastic. And it's really the same here. And I don't want this app to be limited. And I think it's quite awful in a way that many big apps are limited to 4/4, and So that's me spinning a bit. Why don't I use Juice, this audio platform? And that's for various reasons. That's because I don't know it, and it also comes with this traction engine. So I had to learn that too, and then you have to have some licenses for that, and you have some drawbacks with it. As I understand, you can't have it running in the background on the Android. And I also tried to build something, and I saw the build was quite big. So I was a bit discouraged about Juice. I think it's an amazing platform. But I think you can do really cool stuff with Juice. It's, as I said, I think it's amazing. But it's not for me. I don't want this project to connect to VSTs and audio units. And that may sound weird, but I think it's really nice that you have this. You can share ideas in the Caustic community. You could share ideas and load songs from others, and so I think it's nice that there is like a foundation of synths and effects, and it also acts like a catalyst for people building synths that you can't have VSTs. You can't you can't take the easy route, and obviously I also think that there's this. I don't know if you know the expression Ulyssean Pact. I think where it's so easy to end up searching for the perfect VST instead of making that song. So if I can just contribute to more songs being made and more fun playing, then I gladly skip VST support. So I think that's it, right? Any more frequently asked questions? Can I download it? Can I see the source? Hopefully for Christmas I will give you some source code that you can play with, and some polyphonic synth, and maybe some really basic eventer with a tempo, so you can feel also the beat going there. But for now I just need to have an open mind, so being able to make a turn in the code, so I don't want people to build stuff based on this platform that I have now, because it will just you will be annoyed when I make changes, and then we end up in a place which won't be very good. So I think that's the FAQ. So now let's do the hands-on, right? Okay, I think I said this before, that I'm using here a Raspberry Pi to mock the performance of a actually quite slow Android phone. This is a Raspberry Pi 4, so you can just check its CPU compared to what you have in your phone. The red thing is a USB sound card, because the sound card of the Raspberry Pi is really bad, and the other box is just a hard drive for the Raspberry Pi to work with. The white cable is connected to this MIDI keyboard, and there's also a network cable connected, so we can reach this back end from another device. So I use my PC acting like more or less the screen of your phone. So here is the CPU of your phone, and here is the screen of your phone. So, and here of course is an external MIDI keyboard. So we will start Raspberry Pi, we will connect to this, and we will start the playhead on this device. Okay? And we will hear the sound coming out through this sound card connected to this bummer. Okay, so here's the green cable goes to this speaker playing sounds for us in a bit. So let's try this. All my devices are broken, I'm so sick of this. Hang on.